Fallen angels, demons, and principalities. Do they mean the same things? Can we use them interchangeably, or are they different? This is what we're going to look at. Fallen angels, demons, and principalities. Adam gave birth to Cain, but God couldn't use Cain because Cain was a murderer. Cain killed somebody, so God couldn't use him. So Adam's lineage was traced through someone else. Adam gave birth to Seth, Seth gave birth to Enos, Enos gave birth to Canaan, Canaan gave birth to Mahalalel, Mahalalel gave birth to Jared, and then Jared gave birth to Enoch. Enoch started preaching. Enoch was a preacher of righteousness. In Jude chapter 1, Jude is just one chapter, verse 14, it spoke about Enoch, how Enoch was preaching. Certain things was happening in those days. Certain angels came from heaven unto men to teach them righteousness. Then they didn't have the Bible, so angels would come to them and start teaching them righteousness, teaching them the things of God. Adam was still alive in those days. Adam lived for over 900 years. So all these people were alive. They knew each other. And then something happened. When these angels came and started preaching, they began to fall in love with the daughters of men, and they married them and gave birth to children. And these children were different from regular human beings. In Genesis chapter 6, verse 1, it said, "And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose." The sons of God here means the angels in heaven. Sons of God here means angels in heaven. In verse 4, it says, "And there were giants in the earth in those days, and after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown." He said these children that the angels gave birth to were not regular children. These were giants. They became giants in the earth. They were seeds of angels and men. Verse 7, I say, "And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth." Giants were everywhere. The angels that gave birth to the first generation of giants, this first generation also married, gave birth to other generation. Every family wanted to have giants. It was thousands. There were hundreds of thousands. Every family want to have children that will be strong, children that will be agile. So they had this, they gave birth to these children. So before the flood, God gathered all these angels together that came. God gathered them and locked them in a place called Tartarus. It's a place in hell. In Jude chapter 1, verse 6, it said, "And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he had reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day." Same thing said in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4. He said, "For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved for judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, saved Noah and 8 other person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly." So these angels are reserved in a place called Tartarus, in the compartment of hell. Hell has different compartments. Heavens have different compartments. That's how hell is. So they are reserved in the last place of hell for judgment in the last day. When the Bible says we will judge angels, it's not talking about we will judge Angel Michael, Angel Gabriel. No, we will judge these angels. These are fallen angels. They came to the earth to teach men righteousness, but then they fell in love with women and married and produced different kind of sins. So these ones are called fallen angels. They are not here today. They are all locked in hell for judgment on that day. So that's fallen angels. Then there's demons. There are demons. When Enoch was preaching all of this, Enoch also gave birth to Methuselah. Methuselah gave birth to Lamech, and Lamech gave birth to Noah. Angels continued. This generation of angels continued up till this time and gave birth to these giants. The Bible said God has given every seed in somebody. To every seed, God has given a body. Genesis chapter 1, verse 12, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 38. When you take a seed of a plant and you put it in the soil, that seed dies and produces a new body, a new seed. Same with human beings. If a person dies, he's buried. A new body, a spiritual body, the person receives a spiritual body. It comes with a different body. If a man dies, he comes with another body. But these giants that the angels produce, God did not create a body for them. God did not create a spiritual body for them. So when the flood came, the flood wiped everything. So when they died, they didn't have a resurrection. They didn't have a body that they can use. So they will just remain in the spirit form. In the Bible, in Isaiah 26, verse 14, it says, "They are dead, they shall not live. They are deceased, they shall not rise." Some people say these are talking about sinners, and when sinners die, sinners will not rise. This is not sinners. He is talking about the giants. In the Berean literal Bible, it says the same thing. He said, "Those being dead will not live. The Rephaim, Nephilims, will not rise." Nephilims were giants. These are the giants that were born by these angels. So their bodies, they don't have spiritual body. When they came out in spirit. They are not bound in hell. They were moving about, free radicals. They enter into animals, enter into plants, enter into people, and then begin to operate. So People cast them out. Christians cast them out. When you cast demons out of this place, they go to another place and continue their activities. Jesus said when demons are cast out, they go to dry places and then they try to come back. So they keep going about like that. Okay, so these ones are demons. The dead giants, their spirits came out. They don't have a resurrection, so they're moving about in the earth. We cast out demons. The Bible says, in my name they shall cast out demons. Then the third one is principalities. Principalities are different from demons. You don't cast out principalities. Satan, Lucifer, took 1/3, that's 33%, about 33% of all the angels that God created, took them to him and came to the second heaven with all of them. Now, when principalities show up, they show up to check your motives, they show up to check your hearts, they show up to check your environment, to check your hands, so that they can have something to work with. In John chapter 14, verse 30, Jesus said, for the prince of this world cometh, principalities, say they come, and have nothing in me. They have nothing to work with, no material for them to work with. The Bible says, let them that name the name of Christ depart from iniquity. When there's iniquity in a man's life, principalities have something to work with. When they come, they quote the Bible. You can't cast out principalities. They come legally to check, to quote the Bible. So Jesus said to Peter, he said, Peter, Satan has desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. He said, but I pray for you that your faith fail not. He said, when you are standing, when you are converted, strengthen your brethren. You know that he prayed that his faith will not fail when he's being tempted, because this will happen. Principalities come from time to time. Christ has defeated the enemy and given us the victory. Principalities come to check if you are walking in the light of the victory and if you understand this victory that Christ has given you. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. These are prince spirits, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in heavenly places. In verse 13, say, wherefore take the entire armor of God, that you may be able to stand in the evil day. The evil day is when Satan comes to knock at your door. The principalities come to check on you. That's the evil day. In verse 14, it says, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth. You must put on the belt of truth. Put on the breastplate of righteousness. Your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. You must be preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. You have the shield of faith, with which you'll be able to quench all the fiery darts of the devil. The devil will throw darts at you. And then you take the sword of the Spirit, which is the rhema, the word of God. And then prayer, supplication for all saints. This is how you handle principalities. You don't cast them out. You take the armor of God and then you handle principalities. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you shalom. God bless you. I'll be coming your way again some other time. Till then, keep winning. Like and subscribe this channel. I will see you in the next video. God bless you. I love you.